ready to talk some hockey? Get your opinions ready, because we're going to invite you to join us on stream. So brush that hair, get set, and welcome your host, Sam Welby. Hey, what's up, everybody? Got you. Welcome in. It's Wednesday, and that means it's time for the NHL Wednesday Wraparound, where you get to join me and talk all things hockey. Can't wait to get going and dig right in. There's so much to go over today, so much to discuss in the world of hockey. So what's going on? I'm a sticker. Good to see you. NMC in the house. What's up, Morgan? Hello. Welcome in, Dallas. Great to see you as always. Football, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Nick, hello there. Welcome, EC3, of course, in the house as well. Triton is here. Hope everyone is doing great. And welcome in everybody on TikTok. If you're joining us on TikTok tonight, you can certainly be part of the show by coming over to YouTube and getting involved with what we do. It's going to be a whole lot of fun for this evening for about an hour or so. We're going to have a great time. And I'm trying to bring the TikTok comments up here on the computer so I can actually not have to look at my phone. But TikTok, of course, is being difficult because why not? So we're just going to have to go off the phone. So there's a link in my bio on TikTok. Come on over to YouTube. Join the fun. So where do we begin? It has been such a crazy week. You know what? Let's start with a retirement. Let's start with an NHL superstar who's decided to hang him up and call it quits, which, you know, you hate to see him go because he was so good for the team he played for, so good for Team Canada, and that is Patrice Bergeron. We're going to open it up with the Boston Bruins, which, God, it pains me to say Boston Bruins. We're going to go to Boston to kick it off, and Patrice Bergeron, what a career he has had. I mean, absolutely incredible. He came out just the other day to say, you know what? I've had enough. It's time to go. And Bergeron is going to sail into the sunsets. And I think we have to honor him and talk about some of his accomplishments because he's been absolutely incredible. So, Bergie, hats off to you. I'm not going to take my hat off. It's bad hair day. But hats off to you. Cheers, my friend. Congrats. I think the Pens will be a Stanley Cup contender. We're going to get to the Pens. We're going to get to them shortly. But if you don't know what Bergeron has done in his career, let's give you a little indicator of what he's done. A 20-year career, Bergeron is. He's played in the regular season almost 1,300 games, had 427 goals, 613 assists for 1,040 points. In the playoffs alone, Bergeron had 170 points, 170 games, 50 goals, 78 assists for 128 points. He was an instrumental part of the Boston Bruins' unbelievable season last year. JK, what's going on? Welcome in. So Bergeron absolutely lighting it up, not just for Boston, but he also did it for Team Canada. He played in international play for Canada in 2004, 5, 6, 10, 12, 14, and 16, winning gold in every single tournament except for 2006. I don't know what happened to Canada, but they finished fourth that year. Hard to believe Canada finished fourth in international play. It's mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. But what a career Bergeron has had. He was in the Young Stars game back in 2004, Stanley Cup champion, of course. He's been nominated for the most Selke awards than any other player. Of course, he won the Selke in 12, 14, 15, 17, 22, and 23. He won the King Clancy Memorial. He was the NHL Foundation Player Award. He went to the All-Star Game 3 times. He was absolutely incredible, won the Messier Leadership Award. With all of his gold medals, he also has a tournament MVP from the World Juniors in 2005. He was on the IHHF World Junior Championship All-Star team in 05. In 05, he was the leading scorer. So he has just done it all. And of course, Bergeron is a Triple Crown winner. What does that mean? He has a World Junior gold. He's got an Olympic gold, and he's got a Stanley Cup. So great career for Bergeron, and he is on his way. Now, I'm sure Bergeron is going to end up somewhere as a GM, as a coach. You know, he's just too good to completely disappear. So I expect we'll see Bergeron again sometime soon. So again, cheers to retirement, Bergie. You deserve it after a 20-year career. Now, let's get into the good stuff because there's a lot. But before we do me a favor, hit that share button, share out the stream on your social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Sorry, it's not Twitter anymore. It's the X. So share it out. That's just so bizarre. Elon, what are you thinking? It's Twitter. Share it out. Help us out. We'd appreciate it. Hit that like. If you're brand new, hit that subscribe. And if you're watching on TikTok, click the link in my bio. Come on over to YouTube because in a very short time, I'm going to drop a link in the chat and I'm going to invite you to come on in and join us live on stream to share your opinions. That's right, Dallas, 77 days away. Paul Coffey days away to the start of the season. I can't wait. Cannot wait. All right. We went in Boston. We started it in Boston. Let's hop over. I can't go Pens first. We're going to go Leafs first. We got to start in Toronto because big news coming out of Toronto with the Maple Leafs. Well, it's done. If you didn't see our video, Samsonov goes to arbitration. The arbitrator awards a contract, and he has officially signed 1 year, $3.55 million. This is exactly where we had him picked. A couple of weeks ago, we put out a video and we said, hey, here's kind of the Leafs roster as we see it. Here's how the salary cap goes. And we said, hey, we're going to put Sammy in at 3.5. Instead, it's 3.55. Pretty darn close in a prediction. So he signs, he gets done. Great job. Now, today, the Leafs made a decision as to what they're going to do with Matt Murray. Now, if you recall last week, we talked about there was a little bit of a potential issue in terms of trading Matt Murray. There was a little bit of an issue because of his injury status. Is he fit to play? Is he not fit to play? Well, it has come out today. He is not fit to play. Toronto is moving him to the long-term IR for the year. Ethan, there you go. Yeah, it certainly ended up being that way. That's for sure. So Murray goes on the IR for the season. They're not allowed to buy him out, even though the Leafs' second buyout period opened up today. They can't buy him out because of his injury status. Lewis, how's it going? Welcome in. No team is going to trade him. Hey there, Ernet, welcome in. They're not going to trade him, and Georgie, welcome in as well. They're not going to trade him because they'd have to give a prospect. They'd have to essentially incentivize the team to take Murray off their hands. So because of his injury status, he goes on long-term IR. His cap comes off the book. His cap hit comes off the books. As well, Jake Muzzin, he's on long-term IR. He's not going to return. So all of a sudden, where the Leafs had this $12 million cap issue, where they were about $12 million over, well, because those salaries all come now down off the books, Leafs are about $2 million. It's actually 2068950 to be exact, is where the Leafs sit in terms of salary. So still a little bit high. Joshua, hello there. Thomas, what's going on? Welcome in. I love them to death. Oh, awesome. Welcome. Thank you. Like the chair. Appreciate it. Yeah, I got my Leafs chair going on. But yeah, if you want, come on over to YouTube. Click the link in my profile. Come over to YouTube so you get the full show experience. So that's good news for Toronto. So instead of this $12 million cap issue, they bring it down. We got a $2 million cap issue. That's a lot more manageable, right? That's easy to move around. We're sitting at a roster size 22 out of 23 players. We're carrying 45 of 50 contracts. So there's still room for Toronto to move around. Lucas, how's it going? Welcome in. Nick, it's your birthday. Tomorrow's your birthday. Well, happy early birthday, Nick. Happy early birthday. Hope you have a great, great day. So that kind of is the big moves Toronto has made. There are a couple other moves to talk about, and I guess, do we want to go here right now? Do we? Sure, let's do it. I was going to save this one. There was a big signing that came in just the other day. Actually, I think it was earlier today as well. Sebastian Aho, the Carolina Hurricanes. Sebastian, he signs an 8-year deal worth 78 million bucks. 78 million for Sebastian Aho, which equals a $9.75 million cap hit. So a huge signing for Aho. The question now, does this come into play? Is this going to impact what Nylander was going to do? We don't know what Nylander was going to do. There's no movement. Nylander wants 10 million. Toronto says, hey, we only want to give you 8 and change. So neither spot is budging, right? We've seen a couple signings come in. Aho now at 9.75. We saw Velarde. He signed a much, much lower deal, not up in that area as of yet, but a lot of big players coming in and signing, and they're going to impact Nylander in his status, right? It was the LA Kings and Pierre-Luc Dubois. They had a big, big signing, and everyone was like, is that going to impact? So it all really comes down to say, who do you want? Where does he fit in? Where does Nylander's $10 million kind of fit in? So I don't think it's going to help him. I don't think it's going to help him all that much at all. Aho coming in at 9.75. So the question is still out there for Leaf fans. Is Nylander going to play this season on Toronto? Is he going to walk away into the sunset for nothing and join another team because he's not going to get a $10 million extension here? Or does Toronto still have something they're going to look to pull up? I'm going to get your opinion on that real soon. How many starts for Wall next year? I figure he'll be probably about 20. I'm going to go with 20, maybe more. That's kind of my number for Wall. All right, let's go with a couple other smaller signings. Any notables in here? Yes, Anthony DeAngelo. DeAngelo is a notable signing that we should talk about. He signs with Carolina. The defenseman Tony DeAngelo signs 1 year, $1.68 million. That happened earlier this week. And of course, the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers sign Eetu Listerainen, a 3-year deal. He was a restricted free agent. Do we have a figure on him? Listerainen picks up $3 million. So $3 million for Listerainen. Nice signing for him. He was a big part of the Panthers' run in the playoffs and what he could do. So really happy to see Listerainen finally get some bank. No news on Matthews yet, Dallas. No news on Matthews yet. Really what they're looking for is they kind of have an idea of, or at least I'm hearing, they have an idea of where Matthews' salary range is going to be. They're working on term right now. Term is going to be the big one. If he comes in at the 2-3 year term, even 4 years, expect to see it between the 13.5 million. If we're talking 5, 6, 7, 8, you're going to be closer to 14, maybe a little over 14. So term is that big number. What a lot of players are doing right now, because the cap is expected to rise in the next year or two. Curtis, welcome in. Good to see you. Because the cap is supposed to significantly increase in the next couple of years, a lot of guys are signing those small 2-3 year bridge deals just to get them where the cap goes up, and then they're going to sign the longer term extensions. That's exactly what you're going to see with Bertuzzi and Domi, who have both signed 1-year deals. I expect to see those guys really explode. Josh, what's going on? Welcome in. Ballpark, how much Toronto has to spend to win the championship? Buy off the refs. Hey, ref money does not count against the cap. Just ask the Vegas Golden Knights or the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that's kind of the Leaf news today, where I want to go. Now, I do have some Florida Panther news to share with you. The Florida Panthers are celebrating, and they've unveiled a new logo for their 30th year anniversary. The Florida Panthers with a brand new logo coming out, and it's sharp. I like this. They're kind of bringing out that cat again, and I know TikTok, you can't see the logo. And Georgigi, I'm a Leaf guy. Leafs are my number 1. Panthers are my number 2. But again, click that link. If you're watching on TikTok, click that link in my profile. Come on over to YouTube so you can get in the action. But the Florida Panthers, here it is, 30 years. They went back to that original cat, which I love that cat logo. It is so cool. Great cat logo, and they're bringing it back. It's going to be, I think, a patch on there, little shoulder patch. So really nice. Hopefully they sell these patches separately, because I'd love to pick one of those up. So nice little patch there for the Florida Panthers. Now, sticking with Florida, and we were going to talk a little bit about Florida last week, and we kind of moved it over. Elliot, how's it going? Welcome in. Lucas likes it as well. Yeah, it's a great patch. When you get to the Devils, how many points for the Hughes boys? We talked about them a little bit last time. We'll talk about them again, Nick. But in terms of the Florida Panthers, the big question is, can they go on a run again this year like they did last year? Well, if you remember last year, they were off to a shaky start. They really didn't get going until they got to that back half of the season. And when they needed to, they absolutely lit it on fire. We know what Barkov is going to do. We know what Tkachuk is going to do. The question is going to be with the Sams. Can Reinhart and Bennett have the year again this year like they had last year? Carter Verhaeghe, can he continue to develop and play the way he has? Carter Verhaeghe, he had 40 goals last year. Can he do that again? Of course, signing Listerainen is going to be huge. Keeping him here, he's going to continue to grow and develop. He's a young kid. Antoine Lundell, can he continue to develop and build off what he did? I think the big challenge for the Florida Panthers, their defense are okay, but it's going to come down to goaltending. The Panthers lost Alex Lyon. He went and signed elsewhere. They have Sergei Bobrovsky, but they need a secondary goaltender. Anthony Stolarz, he's not going to do it. Bobrovsky, he's going to be good, but can he be as good as he was in the playoffs? I don't know. Bobo is not that reliable. So it's going to be very difficult if the Panthers don't find themselves another goaltender. So that's going to be a big, big question mark. Now let's jump in. I know you're waiting. Let's go to the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I'm going to put that link in. We're going to talk Pittsburgh. We're going to talk New Jersey. And then I'm going to get that link in. And I'm going to ask you guys to come join us. And I want to get your opinions live. So, of course, we go Pittsburgh. We know what happened here. Dubas jumps from Toronto. He goes to Pittsburgh. He takes Jason Spezza, who is proving to have such a great hockey mind, right? He's doing such a good job. Then they steal away such a key asset in Noel Acciari. Acciari, the cookie man, was so good in his time in Toronto. And I was so mad Acciari went and signed elsewhere. And of course, it had to be here in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is an aging team, right? They're one of the oldest teams. You got Crosby, who's 35. You got Malkin, who's 36. Big numbers. You got Jeff Carter, who's 38. Riley Smith is 32. You got Lars Eller, who's 34. You got a couple other guys in their early 30s at 30 and 31, right? With Rust, Granlund, Ricard Raquel, Acciari. So you need to get younger. You have Alex Nylander, who hasn't yet to really show a whole lot. So can they expect more from Alex Nylander? Yes. Will he deliver? That's going to be the question. On the D side, it's no different. Jeff Petrie at 35, Chris Letang at 36. That's a lot. Jan Rudu at 32, Chad Rudwheel 33. You got a lot of aging defensemen. But the biggest challenge for Pittsburgh and how they got to figure out a way is going to be goaltending. You got a nice goaltender in Tristan Jarry, who's really coming into his prime at 28 years old. But then you're in trouble after that. Casey DeSmith and Alex Nedlovic, they're in as the backups. But I don't think Pittsburgh's goaltending is strong enough to make them a contender. They should be able to be right around that wild card spot, right? They're going to be right at that hard-pressed line to get into the playoffs and make it. But with this lineup being as old as it is, I don't think they can take the physicality and the pressures of playoff hockey, especially without a strong goaltender. So that's kind of my thoughts there. Crosby, I think Crosby is probably good for, 30 goals. I don't think he's going to be a 40, 50 goal scorer anymore, but I would be shocked if he didn't pull up, another 25, 30 goals. And they're about $2 million over the cap as well. So in that same kind of position as Toronto. Now, last stop as we're rounding up around the corners, let's talk about the New Jersey Devils. The New Jersey Devils have a whole lot of skill here. And I think the New Jersey Devils are going to be a big contender again with Timo Meier being locked up. Jack Hughes, what he did last year was ridiculous. Hey, TJ, welcome in. Welcome to the show. Manroof, we'll go back to the Leafs. We talked about them early on the show, but we will get back over to Toronto. And again, if you're watching on TikTok, click my link in my profile page. Come on over to YouTube so you get the full show. We're going to invite you to join us live on stream momentarily. But the Hughes, Jack Hughes, man, I gave him no respect in his first season. He did not impress me. I was disappointed. Hey, Charlie, Hayden, welcome in. But what he did last year, I love baseball cards, welcome in. What Hughes did last year was ridiculous. How he performed in the playoffs absolutely made me eat crow. I was super impressed with him at 22 years old. If he can keep improving the way he is, man, he's going to be so good. You know, they also have a couple of young kids in Bratt and Heeshire locked up for several years. They have Palat as a veteran. He's not going to be the Palat as he was in Tampa Bay for their playoff runs, but he still has a good presence. You bring Tyler Toffoli in, who's one of the most underrated hockey players, I think, in the league. He's not always consistent, but he can score a ton. Man, I think that forward, the top six there, and even top nine are going to be so solid for New Jersey. On the D side, there's not a lot of weakness here as well. Dougie Hamilton is great. Marino is great. Slingenhammer is okay. Miller is okay. And Luke Hughes is supposed to be the best of all three of them. So he's obviously a youngster at 19 years old. He's got to develop. So I think Hughes is really going to continue. And I expect Jersey to be there. Top of the conference standings again. They're going to make a good run. The problem they're going to have is goaltending, and this is a common theme with a lot of teams. Vitek Vanacek. Can Vanacek continue to do it? I don't know. I don't know if he can hold the load. He'll play great in spurts, but then they have their backup in Akira Schmid. Schmid has looked good at times, but it's going to be tough. You know, they are still paying they're still paying Corey Schneider $2 million in dead cap space. So that's going to hurt, but they do have about $3 million in cap space left. So that is what I think of the Devils. Who'd you rather see walk, Nylander or Matthews? Oh, no brainer, Sogard. Nylander all day long. As much as Matthews frustrates the crap out of me, he drives me nuts, I think Matthews is the better player. Matthews goes in the corner at times and hits, and Nylander doesn't. Toronto's over the cap. Yeah, but they announced today they're putting Murray on a long-term IR, Muzzin as well. So instead of being $12 million over the cap, Toronto, they're only about $2 million over the cap now, which they'll figure that one out. Of course, a lot of teams are in that range, so I'm not so worried, Ryan, with Toronto being that far over the cap. RK, how's it going? Welcome in. All right, let me get the link for you. Now, it's time now as we're going to continue to talk and have conversations. I'd like to invite you to join me live on stream. So if you're watching on YouTube or if you're on TikTok, come over to YouTube so you can get in the show. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Here's the rules. We ask that you're 18 years of age or older. When you do come on, we like to keep it family friendly, kind of PG-13. So please keep the cursing out of the show. Any foul play, if you will be an immediate cut off and see you later. So we'd invite you to come on, play nice by the rules, and let's get your opinions on the world of hockey. So I'm dropping the link in the chat now. Feel free to queue up, and we'll bring you in one by one. And if we get a couple people, a good conversation going, we'll definitely have some fun. So again, if you're on TikTok and you want to join us, if you want to come on screen and talk some hockey, instead of just typing it, come over to YouTube, click that link and come in. So Sens are the only ones with Murray counting against the cap. Yeah, Ottawa kind of gets the bad end of that deal. Ottawa still paying for Matt Murray. That's really funny. But you know what? The Sens have improved a lot. The Sens have made some decent moves. Obviously, paying for Matt Murray is not a good one, but I feel like the Matt Murray bug has caught several people. How much are they paying? They're paying 1.5 for Matt Murray still. So Ottawa paying 1.5 for Matt Murray, which is crazy. All right, let's bring our friend Morgan in to join us. I got to change my screen here. Boom. There we go. Morgan, welcome in. How's it going?
Hey, Sam.
Good to see you. Your camera's kind of flickering around a little bit. So why don't we do this?
Yeah.
Let's turn your camera off and just go with audio. And I think you just got frozen. All right, we'll see if Morgan can come back in. Morgan has been a good friend of the channel, good supporter of the channel, so we definitely want to get his take and his opinion on a lot of things. So as he gets it finished, and Morgan, if you turn your camera off, hit the camera button, it might help the audio because it'll use less bandwidth. But let's try again. Let's see if Morgan is able to come back in. Can we hear you now, Morgan?
Yep.
Still can't hear Morgan. All right, we'll
Yes.
give it a minute and see. Oh, there we go. Okay, we got you now. All right, Morgan. Well, welcome to the show. Glad to have you come on. Let's ask you, where's the best place to start?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk Toronto?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what is your take? Are you happy they signed Samsonov, or
Sure.
do you think it's too much?
Yes.
Happy they signed Samsonov. Okay. And then do you think Nylander, is he going to start the season with Toronto, or will he be traded before October? Oh, I think maybe we lost him again.
Trade.
He's going to get traded. All right. Morgan says he's going to get traded. All right. I kind of am with you as well, Morgan. I think he's going to get traded a little bit. TJ says, yes, Samsonov is a signing. TJ is happy with Samsonov. He thinks that was a good move. I agree. That was pretty good for them to do it. And again, if you're on TikTok, come on over to YouTube and you can get in on the show. Yes, Morgan.
Did you hear the Jays news?
No, I didn't.
Well, they got the trade today.
There was a trade today?
Yes.
Oh, who was it?
Yes, there was.
Okay, I'll have to look. Morgan, there's a big delay in your audio, so I'm going to let you go, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it. And we'll catch you in the chat. We'll try it again. Maybe we'll get a better connection with you. All right, that's Morgan. Let's bring in another friend of the channels, and please welcome. You see him all during hockey season. He had his own segment for a while. Our good friend, AAU Triton. What's up, Triton? Coming from parts unknown. Now we know where he's coming from, but some new digs. How's it going, my friend?
Very warm.
Very warm. A little different than what you're used to.
So, I know this Gator guy keeps trying to say I got a root for Tampa Bay now.
That's okay. That's okay. Listen, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. So that is going to be the big question, and that we're going to have to put you on blast to watch over the course of the season. Will Triton continue to cheer for the Leafs, or will he officially move out and cheer for the Tampa Bay Lightning? And everybody, Triton, everybody wants your Oreos, so you better keep those close to you. Gator's going to show up knocking at your door looking for some snacks.
Oh, you want to hear the sad part?
Uh-oh.
I had to throw away my entire stash of Girl Scout cookies because they melted in the trip down.
Oh, no. That's really funny. Excuse me. That's really funny, though.
Yeah, Dallas laughed too when I told her.
Well, time to start over. Time to start a collection again. That's funny. Maroof, he will be traded to Nashville. Are you talking Nylander traded to Nashville? That would be very interesting to see if Nylander is in fact traded. So let's try and let me ask you, because I know you spent a lot of time with us talking about Toronto last time. And do you think Nylander is going to start the season with Toronto, or are they going to make a move to get rid of him?
I would hope they would keep him, really. But, unfortunately, as much as I rooted for the Leafs last year, and I will probably more than likely root for them this year, unless I want to antagonize you, which might happen too. But the Leafs head ups, coaches, whatever, made some very questionable calls throughout, especially towards the end of the season, I think.
Yep, they did. And you know what? It's tough to watch. I mean, the situation in Toronto wasn't as bad as Calgary, right? Calgary, for those that don't know, Calgary had a real issue where their players effectively, they stood up against their coaching staff and said, like, we're not playing. And they kind of missed the playoffs because of all the drama last year. Aho re-signed Carolina. Yes, Craig, we saw that Aho signing, which is huge.
Yes,
and
TJ Chandler. Where is he? Chandler will always root for the Leafs.
Nice. Hi, Chandler. Good to see you. So very, very interesting. Onyx, how's it going? Welcome in. Good to see you. Will the Aho signing make a difference to Nylander's contract? That's what I'm curious to hear about. And here's let's bring someone in to join the conversation. Please welcome Josh. Josh, welcome in. Let me see if I can I get a better can you tell I'm new at this program? There you go, Josh. So how's it going today?
Good.
Excellent, excellent. So anything in the world of hockey over this past week that has kind of got you thinking about, man, why did they do that? Or I wish they wouldn't have signed this guy or that guy.
I know one thing got me thinking, why they sign a guy for $3.55 million for 1 year?
I don't mind that signing. I think that's an important they had to effectively. They needed to sign Murray. That was something that I don't think they could have lived without, if you will. Hey, Beverly, welcome in. So, Josh, what did you want to talk about today?
Can you give me 1 minute real quick? I'm trying to get my headphones.
Okay, no worries. I'll bring you back in a moment. All right, so Josh is just going to get settled up. Prep, what's going on? Welcome in. If you want to join the conversation, we're going to bring Josh back in a moment. But if you're on TikTok, if you want to come live on stream, come over to YouTube. There's a link in my profile, or just search Samuel B12, SAMWELB12. We're the only one, and you can come in and join the show, and we can talk some hockey, talk about your teams, your players. We had a request. Where did I just see that? Talk about Sharks. Yeah, we can talk a little bit about the Sharks. I got to tell you, I don't think the San Jose Sharks are going to be that much more improved from where they were last year. One of the signings I really like that the Sharks did make is actually two, really. Bringing in Anthony Duclair. Anthony Duclair I liked a lot. He was from my Florida Panthers. And Duclair, he's got speed. I thought he was an important part of that Panther lineup, but unfortunately, they dealt him away, and he comes over to San Jose, which I think is a good pickup. Phil, how's it going? What's going to happen to the cap if Sammy and Joey Wall, God forbid, get injured? They bring Murray back. So I don't think they can. Phil, I don't think they will. If they've put him on long-term IR for the season, they've effectively said he's too not injury prone, but he's too injured. So I don't think they're going to bring him back at any point during the season. It's always possible, right? Sure, he could get cleared to play, but in that situation, what they'd have to do is they'd have to clear cap room for it to come back. If you remember a few years ago, to Triton's new favorite team, the Tampa Bay Lightning, When when Nikita Kucherov went down with injury, they couldn't bring him back the regular season. He was healthy to come back for the last couple weeks, and they couldn't because they didn't have cap space, and they didn't want to have to essentially move half their roster to the minors to fit him in. Evan, how's it going? Welcome to the show. So what
I
Tampa
have
Bay
to ask
did-
you a question on behalf of one of my Bash Bros.
Sure. Can you give me one sec? So what Tampa did is they waited till after the regular season because there's no cap in the playoffs. Then they could bring Kucherov in. So if Toronto wanted to bring Murray in because of an emergency situation, they couldn't. They'd have to move some players around to create cap space. All right, go for it, Triton.
What do you think about the Predators?
Oh, the Predators. All right, let's finish. Let me finish my thought on San Jose, and then we'll go over to Nashville. Let's check in with Josh. Josh, did you get the headset figured out? Are you with us now?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
All right, I got you loud and clear.
All right.
Loud and clear. All right, so let me finish up my thoughts here on San Jose. So I mentioned Duclair, a good signing.
Okay.
Like him, Flip Zadina, he signs there. Like him, Carlson is the big question in San Jose, right? Carlson is being rumored amongst a bunch of teams, and obviously they're going to get a big payday for Carlson, some prospects and players coming in. Is that going to be enough though to boost San Jose to a playoff contender? No. I think San Jose has a lot of problems. They got to build a lot of talent here, especially in their goaltending. So I don't see San Jose getting out of the bottom half, unfortunately, for San Jose fans. But Carlson is going to be interesting to see where he goes. Josh, what do you think about Carlson? Are you a Carlson fan?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm not a fan of him, but I think he'll do good.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you. I'm not a fan of Carlson myself. He's been a 40, 50 point guy his whole career, except for last year. Last year he exploded, had over 100 points. Do I think he's overpaid for what he does? I do. So I really hope he's not in some cockamamie plan that's being worked out to come to Toronto. Carolina, I think, was one of the other teams, as was Seattle, that were in serious talks for him. So let him go to one of those. Let him go to Carolina. Actually, I don't want him to go to Seattle and hurt that team because I like them. Daily Events, welcome in. Good to see you. He is injury prone. Road Warriors, good to see you as well. Carlson has been very injury prone over his career, and that is tough. Tricky says he'll never repeat last season. Leafs, he's not needed. I agree with you, Tricky. I agree with you. Absolutely not needed for that price, for that term, and for what he brings. I don't think we need him at all. All right, you wanted to go to Nashville. So, Josh, I'm bringing up Nashville. Go for it.
Before we move on, what's your favorite hockey team?
My favorite. So I have the Leafs are my number one. I'm a Toronto guy. And my number two is Florida Panthers.
Get out of my state. You don't belong here. Go.
I am a Florida Panther fan, have been since they've come into existence. Really, really have liked the team. So they're my number two, but Toronto will always and forever be my number one. It was tough for me in this past playoffs as the Leafs and the Panthers went toe-to-toe. I was really torn because I knew one of my teams was getting knocked out of the playoffs. I really wanted Toronto to win that series. But
I hope that happens again because me being in Florida now, that's going to be an interesting chat.
Yeah, it certainly will be. Evan, no on the warnings, but yeah, we're supposed to get some thunderstorms rolling in for sure.
Yeah.
Michael, how's it going?
I already
Welcome
have them
in.
where I live at.
So yeah, it's crazy. All right, let's see. Panthers there. Yeah, Panthers all the way. Man, Panthers were so good. they're gonna keep doing what they're doing. I really like that Panther team. How about you, Josh? Who's your go-to?
Panthers, first one, and then I'll say your second team is yours. Your team.
That Panthers. I like the Panthers. They're good. Let's bring probably one of the biggest Leaf fans I know, but more importantly than a Leaf fan, one of the biggest overtime fans I know. Let's bring him in. Hayden, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in. I'm gonna have to figure out how to move some of the boxes around here. Hayden, welcome in. How are you?
I am sweating like a pig.
Nice. You're saying so? Oh, Craig. Yes, Craig missed about Matt Murray. And if you're just joining in, yes, the Leafs assigned Matt Murray to long-term IR for the season. So him and Muzzin, their salaries effectively come off the book. So instead of being $12 million over the cap, Toronto is now only $2 million over the cap. So Murray is on long-term IR now, which is good for us. Hayden, what do you think about that move? Were you expecting that, or did you think they were going to kind of package him with some prospects and ship him out?
I was hoping for them to trade him, but it would have cost like a first-round pick to move him. So I think LTR at the end of the day is the right decision. Now you can go with Samsonov and War, and I think that'd be a great tandem.
I agree. I think it's going to be a good tandem. Samsonov needs to play in a tandem spot, and I bet you that was one of the big things that came in with the arbitrator when they looked at Samsonov numbers. He got hurt. He didn't put up, starter numbers playing as many games as they would have liked because of his injuries. So I think that played kind of against him a little bit. But I think they'll do okay as a tandem. I really like what I see in Joseph Woll. I think the biggest challenge with Woll is going to be his rebound control. It drives me nuts when I see him make a save and then he gives the puck away just on a terrible rebound. So I'd like to see some better rebound control from Woll. But when he's on, he is really on and it looks good. Now the Leafs need to trade Nylander and Brody to clear the cap. Tricky, yeah. I think Nylander is going to be the guy to go. I really don't see Brody going anywhere. I don't think they're going to move him. I think he's going to be sticking around for a little bit. And I mean, Hayden, Josh, what do you think about TJ Brody?
I'll let Josh go first.
I gotta think about it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with TJ. That is for sure. I mean, he's a good defenseman. Obviously, what he did in Calgary was incredible when him and Giordano were together. They never really had a chance to reunite in Toronto and light that spark and get it done. But I still think Brody is a good person to have on the team. Isn't the rebuild also up to the D to bounce on as well? Michael says Bruins are his second favorite. Bruins are a good team as well. Yeah, I think the D they got. I don't think Toronto's in a full rebuild. Oh, isn't the rebound? Sorry, rebound. I said rebuild. The D's got to bounce back. They got to do something with the D in Toronto. Prep coming in with a gifted membership. Prep, thank you so much. And Phil, congratulations. You've been gifted a channel membership. So thank you, Prep, very much for that. And congratulations, Phil, for coming in with the gifted membership. We appreciate it.
And what's going on with Costa Mom's Bunt Cake?
So Michael Bunting has officially moved on. He has signed elsewhere. So he has left us, unfortunately. Listen, good for him, right? He goes on. He's getting paid. I believe he signed a pretty decent contract. He goes to Carolina Hurricanes for $4.5 million a year. So he was on an entry-level contract last year. I believe he was $925,000 was the last of his contract. And he now gets upgraded to $4.5 million. So great signing for Michael Bunting. Prep, that's awesome.
How do you guys like Florida's new logo they have?
I like it. I like it a lot. I'm a fan of that classic Panther. Do I still have it open so I can? Yes, I do. Let's bring that up so anybody new coming in can see that logo. Now, how is this going to work? Boom, there it is. There's the Panther logo. It's pretty cool. Their 30th anniversary logo. So I think they did a great job with it. What do you guys think?
Logo.
It's
I
nice.
like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
So what made me become a Florida Panthers fan is because I'm a Panthers fan in real life for football. So.
Oh, nice. So for me, I do spend some time down in Florida, and I've been going there like my whole life. So it kind of just became, when they got a hockey team, it was like, great, I can come down here. And back then, there wasn't this NHL center ice package where you could get every game, right? You only got the teams in your market. So when we go to Florida, we couldn't really see any Leaf games. And all of a sudden, here come the Florida Panthers coming in. So now a couple of times a week, we could watch some hockey, which was awesome. So that's where my enjoyment of the Panthers came from. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to go for now because I got to grab something to eat, but I will still have you on and be listening to you.
All right. Thanks, Triton. Good to see you. All right. There's our good friend, AAU Triton. You'll see him all hockey season long coming in, talking some Leafs, hanging out. If you want to jump on the show, if you want to come in and join Josh, Hayden, and myself as we continue to talk some hockey, there's a pinned message at the top of the YouTube chat. If you click on that, you can come in and join us. If you're watching on TikTok, if you want to come live on the stream and share your opinions instead of typing it, come on over to YouTube, SamwellB12, spelled just like it is up there in the top, or go to my profile. There should be a link. Come right in and you can join us here. Regular season begins. Regular season begins October 11th. Sorry, my next live?
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing this every Wednesday, but we have coming up this weekend is a special weekend for the Toronto Blue Jays. So we're going to be covering the Toronto Blue Jays in their weekend series against the LA Angels, the Los Angeles Angels. I want to keep calling them the Anaheim Angels. It's Shohei Ohtani is coming to town. He's actually pitching Friday night, so the Ohtani show is going to roll in. We're going to do each game in that series this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we'll have those three live on the channel with play-by-play, and then back next Wednesday for another episode of NHL Wednesday Wraparound. So that's our live.
The only reason I asked because it's starting to downpour and thunder, and I was going to head off until it stopped. I don't want to lose power, and then I get kicked off.
Yeah, Josh, go take it easy, stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right, there's Josh coming in and hanging out. Thank you, Josh. Hayden, I have an interesting stat here. I wasn't sure if you were aware of this, and we talk about Nylander a lot, and Nylander, of course, he put up, what did he have, 40 goals? I think tied Matthews for the Leaf lead in goals. So here's something interesting, and you guys, I'd love to get your opinions in the chat on this as well. Without Googling it, does anybody want to take a guess at how many empty net goals Nylander had this year? Does anybody know how many empty net goals William Nylander has signed? Crows, not yet. Matthews is not signed yet, but it is coming very, very close. Ooh, Dallas.
40.
Dallas pretty close with 5. TJ 14, not 14. Sorry, Hayden, what was your pick?
40.
40. He had 40 goals. In the regular season, he had NMC going with 8, Morgan 0. He had 4. 4 of his regular season goals were empty net goals. And you might think to yourself, well, 4 is not a lot. Sam, why are you harping on this guy for 4 empty net goals when he had 40? That means he had 36 regular goals. Well, I'll tell you why I'm bringing this up. His 4 empty net goals were tied for the league lead. Tied for the league lead in empty net goals. So you know what this tells me? And you can tell me I'm crazy. But this tells me that Nylander is always being put on the ice when the other team has pulled their goalie. So, is that important? Not overly, but I thought it's interesting that here's a guy who's scoring empty net goals. Usually they're goals that don't really matter. What I'd like to do is find that stat to know how many of them were overtime goals empty net goals when he was up by 1 or up by 2. And we lost Hayden. Hayden has dropped out. That's okay. Looks like Evan's trying to come in, but not connecting with your device. So hopefully, Evan, you can get that sorted out. We'd love to get more of you to come in and join us here. Now, in the postseason, he did have 1 empty net goal. But we all talk about Nylander and his production and how he floats around. And while Nylander put up 40 goals, that's still pretty darn good, right? 40 goals, that's amazing. But when you look at the importance of those goals, was Nylander the guy that scored all the game-winning goals? Was Nylander the guy that scored the goals that don't matter? And I bring this up because it does make a difference, right? Do you want to lead your team in scoring, but all your goals were kind of meh goals? That's what I'm getting at. Let's look real quick. I don't have it handy. How many goals did Nylander have? So let's see if we can get this broken down by year. So here we go. Last year, 22-23, Nylander had, that's more than I thought. Okay, I got to give him credit. He had 5 game-winning goals last year. Five of his 40 were game-winning goals. 4 of his 40 were empty net goals. So take it for what it's worth. New coach they signed. A guy is good at neutral zone trap. Think about Klingberg, going to fit well. So, Crow, that makes me nervous. That makes me very nervous because I'm not a big Klingberg fan myself. Not a big Klingberg fan myself. And if they're going to look at starting to play the defensive trap, I don't know if that's going to work with this group. Nylander is 9.5 max, not a center. He's a winger, sometimes second-line winger. I even think 9.5 is too much. For Nylander, I'm kind of like an 8.8. That's where I kind of see him, 8.7, 8.8. I can't imagine paying him any more than that. I'm in the waiting room. I don't see you there. I love baseball cards. I don't see you in the waiting room. I got Isaac and I got Evan, but it's saying device not connected. You need to connect or allow your mic and camera to be used before you can come in, or at least your audio. You don't have to go on camera, but at least the audio. I just saw Peter. How's it going? Welcome in. How many did he have in the playoffs? Playoffs, that's a good question. Does this break it down by playoffs? It does not break it down by playoffs. I know he had 1 empty net goal in the playoffs. Probably didn't have too many game-winning goals in the playoffs. Let's see in the playoffs. Let's see if that will. No, it doesn't show up. That's okay. Doesn't matter about playoffs. They didn't even get paid for that. Mr. Hockey, that's really funny. That is really funny. But listen, I think we can all admit in the playoffs did not come through the way we expected it to. Let's bring in first-time caller, long-time listener, Road Warriors. How's it going, my friend?
It's going all right.
Good. Well, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Corey, what's going on? And thanks. Now I can actually tell you kind of voice to voice. Thanks so much for all your support with the channel. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
So I know you like busting my chops a lot about the Leafs. I think you cheer for about every other team. Who is actually your team that you like to cheer for? And if it's Toronto, I'm going to fall off my chair.
It's not Toronto. My 2 teams are Dallas and San Jose.
Dallas and San Jose. First of all, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. San Jose is a tough one right now, and Dallas is you know what? Dallas isn't bad. They got some work cut out for them. They've made some interesting moves. You got some great talent there in Mason Marchment, Jason Robertson, Heinz as well. Boy, where did he come from, right? Heinz exploded in the playoffs last year. But the guy I want to ask you about, since you're a Dallas fan, is Matt Duchene. Are you happy with this pickup, or do you think it's a little bit of a waste of money?
I don't know. I kind of need to see him on the ice with Dallas before I can really make a decision on it.
Yeah, Peter says stars are stacked. Mr. Hockey says, where can I call in? If you want to come on the show, come on over to the YouTube channel, and you can join us there. There's a link to come right in. If you click on my TikTok profile, there's a link that'll bring you right over to YouTube, and you could join us. All right, baseball cards, I'll get to you in just a second. So I think Duchene's going to fit in nicely there. I think he hasn't had a whole lot of luck. He kind of been, a little bit of a downhill swerve on his career, but I think he'll fit in nicely. One of the guys who I'm excited to see build, and as a Stars fan, you got to be excited, Wyatt Johnston. This kid absolutely amazed me last year. He's going to be great. Do you think it's kind of a flash in the pan for him, or do you think he has the oomph to continue to play the way he did?
I think he's got the oomph to keep playing.
Yeah, I really, really like Wyatt Johnston. I think he's going to be a key piece to this team as he continues to develop and grow. Unfortunately, you know what? We don't get to watch a lot of Dallas games on our channel against Toronto just because of the divisions and whatnot. But now that I know that, I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to take a look at the schedule. Maybe we can get a Dallas game in there for you. And I even wrote it in my green pen on my 4-way ink pen selector. So we'll take a look and see if we can get a Dallas one in there. Good night, Morgan. Take care, and thank you so much for coming in and hanging out as always. Let's bring in Evan now. Evan, I'm going to bring you in. Road Warriors, you can stick around as well. Evan, welcome to the show. You're with Sam and Road Warriors. And I think, Evan, you're still on mute.
Hello.
There we go. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the show.
You're not wasting your time on the internet.
Sorry.
All right. We're going to remove Evan, but that's okay. We will pick up and go. So that's Dallas. Let's go back. No worries, Hayden. No worries at all. Let's go back over to San Jose. We talked a little bit about Erik Karlsson. Do you have a preference of where you'd like to see Karlsson go? Because obviously that's going to impact the players coming back to San Jose.
Really, honestly, anywhere.
It's like, just get us some prospects and picks.
Yes. Get us some prospects. Get us the cap space. There's just not much. But it's like I said, he's inconsistent and he's injury prone. And I think a lot of teams are not going to take that chance. And his age, being in his 30s, he's not gonna be a long-term solution anywhere. And
it's a long contract. Like, he's 33. He's got 4 years, including this upcoming year. So that's going to take him to 37. I don't know when his actual birthday is, but he's going to be in there 36, 37. That's you're getting to the end of your career at that. We see what some of these players can do, like Giordano, still looking good, still playing great. He's going to be tough. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. All right, let me bring Isaac in here. There we go. Isaac, how's it going? Welcome to the show.
I'm a Sharks fan.
A Sharks fan. We're talking about the Sharks. Ooh, we got a little bit of an echo there. Let me remove you. If you mute that from your You have to mute the actual stream on your device. It's coming through there. But yeah, we're talking about Sharks. Sharks having a little bit of a challenge, right? Improving. There are some players on the Sharks team that over the years that I've really liked. And now that they're kind of on the downside of their career, I'm hoping they can kind of come back. Someone like Marc-Edouard Vlasic, right? I loved Vlasic. He was so good. Yeah, Isaac still getting a little bit of an echo here. So unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work out. But we will try again another time. But thanks for trying. Appreciate it. Sometimes the technology can be a little challenging with the echoes. But what Road Warrior, what do you think of Vlasic? He's another one, 36 years old. He's got 3 years left, bringing him to 39. Is it time for him to go, or do you think he still plays a key role here in San Jose?
I think they'll keep him around a little bit, mostly due to his age, and he's pretty much played with San Jose for the longest time. He's not going to be a guy you really want to get rid of. He knows this team in and out. Maybe even possibly when if he does hang it up, why not bring him in as to the front office?
Yeah, he was drafted 2005 by San Jose, so he's played his whole career here with the Sharks. I think that's probably your smart move, right? Is bring him into the front office, let him kind of play out his contract, bring him into the front office as a key role, and I think that would be awesome. And is it still with San Jose? No, I don't think it is. Was Mike Greer, is he the GM of San Jose? I can't remember which team he was signed on as the GM for. It is. Okay, right here. Mike Greer.
Yeah, Greer is San Jose, and then he did play with Vlasic a little bit.
Yeah, so
towards the end of his career.
Yeah, so wouldn't that be something if he kind of becomes like, we're seeing a lot of players signing on as that special advisor to the general manager. Does Vlasic join Greer in kind of that type of role? But he'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, it would.
So San Jose, again, unfortunately, I don't think they're going
no.
They will, unfortunately.
I still give it, I'd say very minimum 2-3 years.
Yeah, it's definitely a big rebuild. They do have one of the cool logos, though. One of the cool logos, for sure. And wasn't it Sharky, the mascot, who rappelling down, got stuck over the ice, and they had to get the ladder to get him down? So there you go. One of the greatest moments in hockey history, the mascot getting stuck over the ice was absolutely priceless.
I mean, for us, it was priceless. Not Sharky. He might have a different opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Brent on TikTok is saying Anaheim is going to have a choice or a chance soon. Anaheim is one of those teams. They have so much talent, but the Ducks, they have some trouble right now. The Ducks have two major key players as unrestricted free agents in Troy Terry and Trevor Zegras. And if they don't get both of those guys locked up, this team is going to be in trouble. I mean, Adam Henrique is starting to get up there in age. So is Killorn. They bring Killorn over from Tampa Bay. You got Silverberg, who I love. He's awesome. Strome, he's starting to get up there. Frank Vetrano. They got a lot of these kind of depth players. You got Mason McTavish, who's trying to develop such a bright young star. But then you got Troy Terry and Trevor Zegras, who they need to get done. And if you can't, you got to train them. Zegras won't be a UFA for a while. No, he won't. It's just a matter right now. He's restricted. So if he's not going to sign, you got to make a move. Phil, oh my gosh, Phil, comment of the night right there. Sharky felt like a fish out of water that day. That is awesome. If you're if you're Anaheim and you can't get a deal done with these guys, Pat Verbeek is the general manager in Anaheim, another ex-hockey player and great hockey player in Pat Verbeek. If you can't get them done, you got to do some kind of a trade. You got to do a sign and trade or a team that, they're going to sign with and trade the rights to them. And wouldn't that be sweet? If you're sitting here with William Nylander and you can't make him work, I would trade William Nylander for one of these two guys and, some other components in a heartbeat if I could get it done. Can you imagine either of these players playing, with Marner or Matthews? It would be absolutely ridiculous. Two very talented young hockey players. That would be incredible. Curtis says, in a couple of years, the Ducks, Sharks, and Kings are all going to be a tough road trip. You know what? It's a good point, Curtis. It will be. I'm kind of with you there. In a couple of years, that kind of western corner will be tough to swing through. So, Road Warrior, let me ask you, and then I'll let you go. What are you most looking forward to in this upcoming season?
Well, one, San Jose doing something, not expecting anything. I'd like to see Buffalo come together and go for a run. Carolina, I'd like to see them come for another run. Florida, I'd like to see them go for another run. Boston, I don't even know where to start with that. I know they're going to, they lost Bergeron. He's retiring, so that's going to be a key piece that they've lost. But I think they got plenty of guys that can step up and fill the role of captain and leader.
Yeah,
but still, how do you build this team, go on this record regular season run, and then not even make it out of the first round? How do you do that?
That's going to be tough, and I think maybe we'll start next week. We'll kick it off, and we'll start dissecting Boston and start the show there. But you did mention one very interesting team that I think is worth talking about, and that's the Buffalo Sabres. Let's see, TikTok, Brent Heiskanen will become an undisputed best defenseman. Oilers will miss the playoffs, and the Bruins too. I don't disagree about Heiskanen. He is spectacular. Terry can bring a haul. Brent, absolutely. Yeah, all good points, Brent. Spectacular points. Brent, if you want to come over to YouTube. That way you'll get the full show, and you can even come on and join us. But make sure to check us out on YouTube. Of course, if you are watching on YouTube, hit that like, and of course, hit that subscribe. We'd appreciate it so much. We're going to do this Wednesdays from now and into the season, and then depending on how the season goes, we might readjust nights, but we'll keep talking some hockey. So the Buffalo Sabres, what Buffalo did last year, and I know, it was more noise in the regular season what they were doing. They had one of the best records, I think, in hockey in the second half of the year. Tage Thompson, this 25-year-old kid who has just exploded on the scene. He was amongst the league leaders for a bulk of the year. He's impressed me so much. He's one of these guys, Tage Thompson, over the years. I would take him in my hockey pool every year, and I'd wait for him to break out, and he never did. So I stopped taking him in my hockey pool, and all of a sudden the kid woke up. He is so impressive. Dean, how's it going? Welcome in. Go Stars. There you go. There's another Stars fan coming in, and Dean. And I love baseball cards. Again, thank you for trying to come in. We appreciate it. Sorry it didn't work out. But what do you think of Tage Thompson and what he's been able to accomplish?
I think considering where Buffalo was, I think he's going to emerge as the future face of Buffalo. I know everybody expected Jack Eichel. Then there was the whole debacle with how he was treated with his injury. But I think Thompson will be the guy that's going to become the new face. Oh God, what was the goalie's name? Their older guy, longtime Ottawa guy, Anderson.
Anderson, yeah.
Anderson even said he's like, I wish I was 10 years younger. The way this team is chemistry is forming. So I think they'll be forced to reckon with.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be absolutely amazing. TJ Brody put that down in the journal. Bucket. He's predicting 55 plus goals from Thompson. I think that would just be incredible. Such a good young talent. And yes, that whole trade, the way it went down, I mean, he's obviously laughing now for winning a Stanley Cup. But Alex Tuck, of course, coming in, he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. You know, he's been okay. But
right.
Man, this Buffalo team, they're a piece or two away from really, really making some noise. I think the big challenge they're going to have, like Pittsburgh and like a lot of other teams that we talked about tonight, is their goaltending. That's going to be a challenge. If they still had Linus Ullmark right now, man, they would be unstoppable. But Eric Comrie, he's not going to do it. Hey, Hockey from Home, welcome in. Good to see you. They do have one of their young defensemen they have. I'm really excited to see him kind of turn around and get going, and that's Owen Power. Owen Power, you know, he comes in with so much expectations, this pressure, and I hope he can live up to it, because we've seen flashes from him, but now we just need to see him put it all together.
Right.
Well, Road Warrior, thank you so much for coming in and joining us tonight. I appreciate it. It's great to actually sit down and get a chance to talk to you. And again, thank you so much for all the support. And I really do look forward to having you bust my chops again this upcoming hockey season.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like I said, I'm not a huge Leafs fan, but I'll watch really anybody in hockey. And if you ever notice here, it's like I will trash talk, but I will keep it family friendly.
That's exactly the way it is, and thank you for that. We appreciate it. Always making the chat a whole lot of fun. We're gonna look to try some new things this year during a play-by-play to bring the family-friendly trash talking to a whole new level. So we'll look forward to some of the stuff we can pull out there. But again, thank you kindly. Appreciate it. If anybody else wants to get in on the chat, wants to come in, say hello, and talk some hockey, there's a link atop the chat in the pinned messages. Again, it's only on YouTube, TikTok. If you want to get involved, you do have to come on over to the YouTube channel and get in there. If you haven't hit the like yet, give that thumbs up a click. We'd appreciate it. And if you're new, if this is your first time checking us out, hit that subscribe. We're going to be wrapping it up here momentarily. So we'll say last call if you want to get into the conversation. What day is hockey season? Well, I believe the Leafs opening day is October 11th. I can tell you the exact opening day. Opening night is October 10th. So October 10th, it's going to kick off with 3 matchups. Nashville versus Tampa Bay at 5:30. We got Chicago and Pittsburgh at 8 p.m. And then Seattle and the Vegas Golden Knights at 10:30. And you know what? That Chicago-Pittsburgh game is looking a little appealing right now. Hey, Gordon, Connor Bedard facing off against Sidney Crosby. That might be an interesting matchup we may have to look at. That would be a pretty good way of kicking off the regular season. Let me make a little note of that. And that is a Tuesday, October 10th, Chicago, Pittsburgh. Of course, we will have preseason hockey action on the channel. We'll be calling some preseason hockey games as well. We will be bringing you some rookie play as soon as we see the Traverse Cup schedule and what that's going to be and what feeds we can get up here. We'll look to bring you some of the rookie tournaments as well. I hear the Toronto Jays lost. Yeah, the Jays have been up and down. We have a big weekend coming up. Baseball fans, a huge weekend coming up. It's the Ohtani show. Shohei Ohtani coming to Toronto as the Angels taking on the Blue Jays Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to be calling play-by-play for all 3 games. So we will have you covered Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday around noontime. So if you're a baseball fan, you come subscribe to the channel and make sure you come hang out over the weekend. Ohtani is pitching on Friday night, 7 o'clock will be live. He is going up against Gosman, I believe. So Ohtani versus Gosman should be the matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time. Well, again, last call. If anybody wants to jump in and join us and say a quick hello. Otherwise, we are going to wrap it up today. We've talked about so much. Again, we've covered so many teams here on the wraparound as we've wrapped around the NHL league. We've talked to many players. We're going to kick off next week, barring anything big, barring any big change, any big news that comes out. We're going to look to talk about the Boston Bruins and what we can expect from them next season. And then we'll do this again. We will wrap around the league, talk about all the teams, the signings, the moves, what we think should happen or should not happen as we're about crossing the halfway point, moving into August. I can't believe it's going to be August already. Unbelievable. But we are getting into August, which means hockey is just around the corner. Will Shane Wright be able to get a regular role with the Seattle Kraken? Will Slafkovsky be able to play a regular role with the Montreal Canadiens? We're going to look at all these different scenarios, look at all the potential rookies. There's so much we're going to talk about. You know the drill now. Episode 2 is in the books. We're going to post those links. We're going to allow you to continue to come in and chat with us. So if you didn't get a chance today, or if you were feeling a little shy, now you know what it's all about. So you can certainly think about joining us next week as we come back Wednesday, 8 o'clock for NHL Wednesday night wraparound. My name is Sam. This is the Sam Welby 12 experience. We appreciate all the mods for hanging out today, having a good time with us. All of our channel members, thank you so much for investing in the channel. We appreciate it. For all of you who have just come in to hang out, our subscribers, even if you're not subscribed, you just come in and hit the thumbs up. We thank you for supporting us that way. And of course, Prep dropping another gifted membership. Hockey from Home, congrats. You have received your channel membership. Prep, thank you so much for the gifts today. We appreciate it. Prep, we're going to get you on here one of these weeks. I think we're going to get Prep, Beverly, NMC, Dallas. We're going to get a whole panel of first-timers. I think it would be awesome. No pressure. But thank you all so much. I hope you have a great week. Again, we'll be back live in a couple days for baseball, and we'll probably get a bunch of hockey talk in there as well. Again, thank you for being here. Make sure to share the channel around. Tell your friends, tell your families all about our show, and we'll see you again real soon. From myself, Sam, from all of our guests who have joined live on stream today, we say thank you for the support. We'll see you this weekend for some Blue Jays baseball. But until then, go hockey go. Good night, everybody.